Hey, welcome back guys. This time we're going to talk about a wizard we created which is called CMTS Combine. But before we dive into the wizard, let's talk about what we're going to do here. So in essence there's a network, it has a PE, it has a CMTS, there is a cable modem connected to it and a CPE device behind it. So in this case, whenever there is a merger or a split of a CMTS, physical connections are terminated on another device and the PE configuration with its tunnels needs to be updated. So that's what this wizard is all about, simplifying those actions. So before we dive into the tool, let's have a look at the flow diagram, what's really happening after you've selected which devices needs to be updated. In this case, a task needs to be executed and it does a bunch of things. So in this case, first we're going to do is verify PE reachability, because without reachability, there's no need to push any configuration, right? So if it works, we continue. If it doesn't, we log a certain message and we stop. So if it happens, we go into a loop where several devices will be executed, right? So several lags in essence. So we will test first if the tunnel is still up, because if the tunnel is up, that means the connection is still there and we don't want to mess with an active connection. So if it's up, we're going to jump out and exit, or in this case, going into the next leg. So if it's down, we're going to do several things. We're going to update the PE configuration with the new CMTS IP address. So that means updating the layer 2 circuit. After a successful push, we're going to do the database update with the new information. We're going to wait till the tunnel comes back up. So that's a little timeout over there. We're going to do a test afterwards again to see if the tunnel came up or not. If it didn't come up, we're going to go and log that. If it did come up, we do a different log message and we go on to the next leg. So after that, if all the legs are done, we're going to test the PE if there are still any connections left within this VPN. If there aren't, we're going to remove that part of the configuration as well. If there are still active connections, then we're going to leave it as is. Now jumping back into the tool, we go into the scenarios. And the scenario is actually the technical representation of the flow we just described. So that's what we're going to have a quick look here, not too deep. So this is what actually is being used when we talk about the task. So you see a lot of description here. Here you see the reachability test. We do a couple of show command here, test its output, test for errors and such things. A lot of assignments right here. Here you see the log messages that I told about. You see another parsing of the commands there. Okay. Here you see if an actual command or the configuration that is pushed, in this case to the Juniper, that's right there. If an error occurs, then what do we do with it? You see database updates, timeouts, the whole shebang that we told about. And here the last part, you see testing for active or inactive connections. All of this information, which commands to use and how to use them, is described on our wiki, of course. Here you see a part of our wiki with the scenario command details, which explains all the commands possible that you can use within your scenario. So in this case related to configuration, file transfers, device to, for example, to reboot it during your scenario, put in timeouts, put in traps, logging, database updates, whatever you wish to do inside your scenario is explained on this part of the wiki. Here you're going to see the wizard in action. Some of the information is masked, but we're going to have a look on how the flow goes. So we select, in this case, a current device, a current CMTS. We select the new one where we want to migrate to, or to split it, or we can put in new information that wasn't known before inside the NetIce database. Once those are selected, we see the current active connections on those devices. We select the devices that we wish to migrate from A to B, and we continue to the next step. So here it's about the scheduling. We have an overview of where we're coming from, where we're going to, which devices are going to be migrated, and we schedule those for either now, for tomorrow, or selecting your maintenance window. Keep in mind that inside the task that is being executed for these devices, those are they have the checks, those are tested, and if the connection is still active, it wouldn't be migrated at all because we won't want to mess with an active connection. So we can schedule this right now or schedule this for tomorrow morning. So you see that a job is being submitted. We can see that also inside the jobs. So here you see that those are waiting for scheduling. If we look at some previous information, so we look at the logs that have been happening. So we had the log action command there. So here we can test for or see whatever happened during the communication to the devices. So everything can be logged here, can be viewed. All the variables are substituted, of course, in here. So you can create your own output in here. So you see a lot of testing here. You see multiple users that have been using this. So ID is create it once. Use a wizard if that makes the life easier, and use it many, many times. Thank you for watching.